Pronouncing numbers in English can be very difficult for many learners, but today we're going to fix that. My name's Sensei. I'm a British English teacher from the UK, and I'm here to help you improve your English. The goal from today's session is to be able to pronounce numbers in a variety of situations. So we have quite a few topics today. The first one that we're going to go over is regular numbers. Those are numbers 0, 1, 2, 20, 30, for example. We're going to go over all of those up to 1,000,000. The next topic will be ordinal numbers. Ordinal numbers are for things like the date, first, second, third, bada, bada, bada. We're going to go over those. The third one will be numbers used in other situations, for example, the temperature or for money. And the last one is an example of how words might be pronounced in another accent. If you've watched British movies, you might hear the Cockney accent, or if you're visiting London, you'll definitely hear it. So I want to introduce the differences you might hear when you hear people using that accent pronouncing numbers. Let's get into the first topic, regular numbers. And for this one, I'm going to give you a tip immediately. The TH sound, tongue between the teeth, very important for words like three. Three. I've heard some people say tree. That's a thing that's outside. Three. Three. Okay, so we're going to go from 0 to 10 first of all. Here we go. 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, how did you do? Let's go on to the next from 11 to 20. I'm including 20 in this section because I want you to see the difference. Another top tip here is between teen, which is like 13, and 20. So as you can hear, the difference at the end is in and e. Very short and sharp for 20. But for the teens, as we call them, in is a longer sound, okay? So let's go through them. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. You can hear a big difference between 19, 20, yeah? Now let's go from 20 to 100 or 100. Here we go. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, or 100. Both are fine. Then how about after that? Because now you can count good pronunciation from 0 to 100. But how after that? The bigger the number, the harder they get, especially the combinations, and we're going to talk about that. So first of all, let's go through the key numbers. We have 1,000 or 1,000, 10,000. Yes, nice job. So think about, as you're going after that, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000. Okay, we're going up similar to what we've already done from 0 to 100. And then after that, we have 100,000. 100,000 or 100,000. But then after that, 200,000, 300,000, 400,000, etc. Up to the last number, which is 1,000,000. Okay, nice job. Now you can count from 0 to 1,000,000. Top tip, watch out for combinations of numbers. These become tricky the bigger they are. So here's an example of how it goes. 2,347,733. Okay, so watch out for that. Do you see that combination? We have hundreds, thousands, millions, yeah? But then also within the thousands and then within the millions, we also have hundreds come back. Okay, so watch out for that. Now let's go into ordinal numbers. We're going to go from first to 31st, okay? But then we'll do a couple of bigger numbers as well. Watch out, TH, many of those in these. Remember, tongue between the teeth. Okay, here we go. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st. Now, some of the bigger numbers: 100th, 1,000th, 1,000,000th. Not sure how often you're going to use those last ones, but just in case. Now, let's go into some other ways to use numbers. So, many issues for learners when there is a decimal point. We call this a decimal point on a number. So, let's take a look at this number. Anything after the decimal point, we just say the single number, okay? So, for example, let's look at this number here, 3.1256, for example, like this. Okay, so watch out for this selection when you have this. Great for temperatures. For example, what's your temperature today? My temperature is 37.8. Okay, so watch out for that. Many people make this mistake. The reason why this becomes a mistake is because when we're counting money, it's slightly different. So, for example, if the cost of it was this much in English money, it would be £1.29. So you can see there's a point in there, there's a decimal point, but it's a bit different because we're talking about pence and pounds. We're calculating two different things there. Pence go into the pound, 100 pence go into a pound, but because they're two different categories, we're going to count them slightly different. Let's also look at dates. So with the date, we don't say, for example here, 1099. We tend to separate the two into two blocks, 1999 instead, just to make it easier to say. There's one time where this doesn't really happen. That's between the years 2000 to 2009. In that period, we did say 2000, 2001, 2002. We don't say 2002. It sounds a bit strange. It doesn't sound natural. We almost always say 2023. We separate them into two. Now let's also talk a little bit about fractions. Fractions are a little difficult as well because we actually use ordinal numbers within fractions. So let's talk about some of the simple ones first. We have a half, or 1/2. We then have a quarter. That's an easy one. 1/4, a quarter. How about this one though? 3/4, 3/4. Yeah. And then how about as we go further away though? We have 1/5, 1/8, 1/10. How about we combine some of these? 3/5. How about if there's a number at the start? 5 2/5. Okay, so you want to watch out for that. These ones are a little tricky. Now, last thing for today, we're going to look at the Cockney accent. So why am I introducing this? It's because there's three factors that come into play with numbers. If we look, we have these three things that pop up. The first one are dropped T's. We know this from water. Butter, for example, we know that this comes up, a glottal stop. So what we want to look at for this is for example, 20, 30, 40, 50. This is where it's going to come up for this. 13, you might hear this as well, for example. So you have to watch out for the drop T's. H's, dropped H's are always a tricky one because of the 100. It's 100 quid. It's 100 pounds. like this. Okay, so you're going to hear this. Also pans, pounds, pans. We've got a different sound there, instead of ow. Okay, so watch out for that. It was £100, but they probably, more likely you're going to hear is 100 quid. It was 100 quid. Okay, so what's a quid mean in pounds? And the last thing is what we call TH fronting, where there's an F or a V instead of a TH. So anyone who really struggles with TH, maybe you want to use a Cockney accent, I don't know, that's up to you. But yes, the TH here we don't use if you use a Cockney accent. It's more like to be an F or a V. Don't have to worry about the V for this section. We're really focusing on the F sound. So for example, you might have 33 quid. I got 33 quid. What's the date today, Stu? It's Friday the 13th, isn't it? Friday the 13th. You see, comes up with some issues here. 133 quid. You see where these problems come in. It's £113. 130 quid. 130 quid. You see where these issues come in. If you hear it first off, you might not know what it is, so that's why I wanted to introduce it to you today. Now, if you are someone who really wants to improve your pronunciation, I'm sure you'll take a look at this video, which is bound to help you improve your English. I'll speak to you soon. Ciao.